17th April, 12:41 p.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Ante-Chamber. So essentially, we have only done the trial for 2 hours and 40 minutes, which is not a lot of time, but okay. Ah, Gina, how are you holding up? Yes, continue acting this way. I'm starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now. Wow, haha. Ginny! Oh wow, Aris is here already.
Are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything?
Oh, Gina, is everything okay?
What's the point, eh? Why go to all this trouble and fight so hard? For the likes of me?
Oh, come on, Gina.
What? Where you saw it? That picture?
What picture?
Ah, you mean this? The photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder.
I mean, yes, there's only one photo of this, but we can't really derive anything from it, right? It could have been something very different from what was expected. Who knows?
Well, I didn't think he would have captured a scene like this, that's for sure.
I wonder what happened.
It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that's gonna think I did it, ain't they?
Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court.
Surely you gotta have your doubts about me now. You can still think I'm innocent.
Well, of course I can. Come on, Gina.
Jeannie, why did you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Eh?
Oh,
Runa's cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still... We'd really like to hear it from you.
yes, please. Yeah. Oh, are you really going to speak?
Alright then. It was after we'd had a dinner together at your place, right, Iris? Then we all had a chat up in your office, didn't we?
Yes, we did, and it made for a bit of an uncomfortable talk because Gina pretty much didn't trust that Sholmes hid the manuscript in Winnie Bank's storage area. Yes, I remember. Oh, are we going back to that scene?
After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out and went down the street to the 2-1 to Winnie Bank's place. I had to know if Iris' story was there or not. The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Yes. Oh wait, oh, that's realness, okay, whoops. If Iris' story was there or not, the Hound of the Baskervilles.
I don't know what it's about, nothing. But if you ask me, there's something in it that Sholmes don't like. Something what you don't want people reading.
Oh.
So that's why he lied to Iris about sticking it in luck with Winnie Bank for safekeeping. At least, that's what I thought at the time.
Okay. So you broke into Winnie Bank's?
I just had to know if he was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all of that was gonna kick off, did I?
I mean, no one would have expected that.
I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark as you like in there. So I gave the oil lamp on the counter a bit of wick, and that's when...
What do you think you're doing? Ah! Oh.
I nearly died at it, and next thing I knew...
Oh.
I grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like I don't know what.
Oh, so I guess she got shocked by it and then it was her instincts, I guess. Ah, you're the girl who was in here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets went in for armed robbery.
The mental script. Have you got it here? Did Sholmes leave a lot of papers with you? A story?
I beg your pardon?
The Hound or the something or other. If it's here, I want to see it.
I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers.
I don't want it. What do I do with it anyway? I just want to see this here, that's all.
Oh, you want to see it, do you?
I want to know if Sholmes really pawned it or not. Please, just let me see it and I'll go.
Ooh, okay. Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, will you? Wow. I mean, okay, that makes sense.
So then, the old cove unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside.
Okay.
And it was there, right? The mental script. Sholmes wasn't lying after all. You did all that just to check for me, Ginny?
I mean, Jeannie definitely sees Iris as kind of like a friend, isn't it? So, I wouldn't be surprised in that sense.
Anyway, then there was a bit of a kick up out in the main bit of the shop.
The Skulking Brothers arriving on the scene, yes.
What was the noise? Someone's breaking in.
Dear me. Is there some burglars convention here tonight that I don't know about?
I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry.
Oh, Gina. I better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back?
Oh, welcome here and...
Now, don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances. Oh, wow.
And with that, he took the gun out of my hands and walked back out into the shop.
Okay.
I hung back in the storeroom like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. It sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I could help, see? So I was just about to go out the storeroom myself when...
Bang! Oh, 2 shots. What?
I heard a couple of shots go off, too, I think, almost at the same time.
Oh.
And then there he was, right at my feet, lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storm door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as I liked.
Because you thought whoever had shot Mr. Windibank might come for you?
Yeah, so I went to grab the old coast gun. I figured I'd put up a fight at least. But when I got a better look at him, I knew...
Oh.
Windibank was a goner.
Yeah, so I mean at this point she knew.
I felt funny made all of a sudden, kinda dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing.
Oh. So maybe she just fainted. She just passed out from the sight of blood. That could be a thing, but maybe not? I don't know. It's actually hard to tell. That must be when you passed out, Gina. It could be the shock of the incident, right, that made her pass out.
If I hadn't done what I done, the old cove might still be alive.
Did you tell the police everything you just told us?
Course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was, if I kept telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me.
I mean, it's unfortunate because she's a thief, so people just... There's a tendency for the police to just not trust the words of what thieves say, right?
It'll be alright, Ginny, don't worry, just stay strong a little longer. Runa's about to put the real culprit through the mill. That cove was there in the afternoon?
She passed out from the shock? Well, that makes sense.
That aged Benedict.
Yeah, very gentle looking.
I still remember how he looked at me, like I was nothing.
Ooh, gosh. That look though.
It was there that night.
Oh. We don't know his real name yet. But I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty.
You what? You can leave it all in Runa's capable hands now, Ginny.
Oh. Gina, trust in us.
Mr. Nara Odo.
Yeah, that was a good attempt. Yes?
How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago.
I mean, yes, that happened, but... Me
and Matilda, we told you a whole pack of lies. And you got the bug throttle off with him, even though he was a killer.
No, I could never forget that.
Oh,
I did what I thought was best at the time. But the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what.
but what if I'm lying? You could be working to get another killer off the Oak Vault, all you know.
Well, I mean, Gina, if that's the case, then it's unfortunate, isn't it? I was once in your position, Gina. I was accused in a trial.
You were?
Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strange as it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe it wasn't me who'd done it.
Oh, Runo.
But there was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me and was prepared to defend me. My best friend. Oh, Kazuma! Yeah! Ryonosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me and I'll do the rest. I was so happy, I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me, not completely. But I was wrong. Oh, Kazuma. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute, unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolute, unwavering belief in him. Oh, yes. I mean, Ryu himself slowly came to terms with how he was supposed to carry himself even during the trial, right? Even though he was very, very, very meek, a little bit shy to express himself, himself, but it ended up turning out okay for him. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first.
What are you saying?
I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down. Yeah man, Gina, trust in us.
Even though I'm a diver and a no-good liar.
You're not like McGilded. I know that.
Eh? That's right, you're a wild friend, Ginny.
Oh, Iris.
Iris.
We know you better than you think. And we've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust.
Yes.
That's really all we need to know.
Exactly.
Oh wow. My voice is really breaking this early into the trial. Oh no.
Mr. Naraodo,
Oh. It's okay, Gina. It's okay. Defendant Gina Lestrade and her legal representative. Court proceedings are about to resume. Please, head into the courtroom immediately. Yes, of course. Thank you. And let's begin, I guess. I've been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time, so I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. And I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. Aww. This is it at last, the final chapter, the final battle. Wish me luck, Susato-san. And I hope you're watching over me too, partner. Ah. Kazuma. Yes, watch over us, please. Let's do this. 17th April, 1:41 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. So 1 hour has passed. Oh, there's a gap now to I'm guessing introduce the next witness that we are getting.
I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Van Six, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness?
The subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem.
I see. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Gregson's precis of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector.
Yes, I can only apologize, my lord.
And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried matters to be used as evidence in my courtroom.
Aw, god damn it, that sucks.
It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake.
Oh no, Iris, please do not start firing the gun here. My lord, the subpoenaed witness has just arrived in the building.
Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay.
Mr. Benedict, I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon. And certainly not like this.
Hi. Oh, hello.
Thank you for complying with the court subpoena at such short notice, sir.
But of course, my lord, as an outstanding member of London society, it is my pleasure to oblige.
Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record.
Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer.
Mr. Graydon and I both work at London Central Communication Station.
Okay. Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about?
You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on the way here, I presume?
Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at a pawnbroker's on Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question.
That is the accusation indeed.
This really is beyond a joke, you know.
Very well. Without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon.
He looks sus, he's very sus.
You will respond to the accusation made under you under oath.
Against you, under oath, sorry. Oh, okay. I forgot about this part.
Gladly, my lord, gladly.
Yes, that weird dance that he does. Witness testimony. Yes, what are you going to tell me? The accusation.
Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some Scaramouche detective's homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence.
Oh, okay, that's it? Okay.
So, you deny the accusation completely, do you?
I must say, I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy.
It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld.
Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today.
Wow, attacking the jury now? That's not gonna reflect well on you, sir. By golly.
How long am I expected to be detained here?
If, following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in the matter has not been established, You will be free to leave immediately.
Can he just guilty for insulting the jury? No, that's not how it works.
Good. Then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation at least.
Let us not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary, counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination.
This is very reminiscent of the first trial, the very first case, where they both have like some appointment to go for tea very soon, and they urgently need to go and stuff. It's weird.
So, we meet again, Mr. Agate Benedict? Or is it Mr. Graydon? My apologies. You are... Ryonosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. We have met. If you say so, Ashley Graydon, Enchante. So... Oh, whoa!
Oh, well, oh, thanks for that.
I trust we can conclude this quickly.
But I'm not holding a fleshy head while we do. Oh, well, you are holding it right now though. You just continue holding it, it's fine. Okay, the accusation. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. Tell me more.
Yes, we even met in the very pawnbrokery where the crime took place on the afternoon of the day in question. Though, of course, you introduced yourself by a different name at the time.
Oh,
It was Mr. Agate Benedict, I believe. Tell me, why may you...
The witness is here to testify about events that took place that night.
ooh.
He is under no obligation to answer such unrelated questions.
You can't be serious. Thank you, because I certainly do not feel inclined to answer such an inappropriate question. So it's going to be evasive, is he? In an effort not to give anything away. This could be tricky.
Oh, okay. So he's gonna act very gentlemanly, very posh and everything, and I guess he's gonna try to deflect a lot of questions or bits of pieces that I would try to probe him on. So let's see. Are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night in the murder? Okay.
Have you seen these two men before? This pair? No, I don't associate with criminals. Said by a man who introduced himself as Agate Benedict.
Wow.
I'd like to know who I have to thank for this. Who made this outlandish accusation against me?
The young lawyer there in the back.
In the black, sorry.
This is a farce. Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in a British court anyway?
Oh wow, that's not very nice.
Well, needless to say, I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation.
Okay.
Where were you at around 1 in the morning on the night in question, sir? That is past the hour at which I would normally retire. Certainly, I was not in the company of these rapscallions.
You are able to prove that?
Listen carefully, my learned Nipponese friend, for you appear to be under a gross misapprehension on this point.
What do you mean?
The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence. If your accusation is that the witness was present at the scene, the obligation lies with you to prove your assertion.
That makes sense. Ultimately, I'm the one that's accusing him, right? So,
You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more unreasonable questions to the witness.
Yes, dance. Posh. A silent victory wiggle.
thanks. Why does he keep doing all these jiggles here and there? Even if certain parties will here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Okay.
Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholmes' chemical analysis have positively identified the substance as such. But I'm not the only human to have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be so sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants. Every individual's blood has a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholmes' chemical is able to differentiate different blood samples by spare me the science lesson. Who is this Sholmes character anyway? Oh, I assumed all Londoners would know his name. He's a great, well, a renowned detective.
So even you are unable to bring yourself to say great detective. Oh no.
God damn it, Benedict, don't call me out like that. Oh no.
A great detective, you say? Now we are in the realm of fairy tales, are we? The counsel for the defense thinks a British courtroom is an appropriate place for fairy tales, does he? This is so unfair. The chemical test is based on solid science. Hurry and know what we're doing. The trouble is, unless the technique can be independently verified, we'll never get beyond this man's fleshy stick waving. Granted, it's a very colourful alchemy. Perhaps it will make a good souvenir for your uneducated friends back home in the East.
Excuse me, sir. You take that back.
Something riled him up there. Just for a moment, Mr. Graydon let his feathers get ruffled. But a souvenir is all it's good for.
Oh, okay.
Some Scaramouche detective's homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence before we get to that.
Okay, let's go to the part where he reacted. Which is going to be a long time. Yes, hi. Yes, they're just going to keep averting their gaze, isn't it? Yes. Yes, he's not a great detective, I guess. Okay.
Now we're in the realm of fairy tales.
Yes, sir. Why are you deep in thought? Shoto!
Do you have something to say about that, Mrs. Skulkin?
Eh? What? Me?
No, the Mrs. Skulkin next to you.
Right, I've had it up to here with this. How many times have I got to tell you? Gregson, you're not involved in this, sir. Do you mind? Shoo.
Yes, I know. You're not big bro Skulky.
Sulky.
Mr. Nash Skulkin.
God blimey, Governor. You what?
Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind? Will you care to share that thought with the court?
Me thoughts? I don't have none of them. It must have been him. What? You what?
Mr. Nash Skulkin, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke?
Nothing. Honest girl, nothing. I was just thinking, if he waves his arm around like that much more, it'll open up the wound again, that's all. Wow, Nash, thank you.
What would?
Where he took the bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. It ain't gonna be healed up yet. Wow, Nash. So I was, well, you know, I was worried for him and... Oh, else spells.
Mr. Graydon, do you hear that? Oh. What? Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm. My lord.
Yes, Mr. Graydon.
I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly, I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations. We know that someone else other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago.
Yep.
And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabouts.
Yes, sir. Why are you gripping your shoulder now?
Perhaps you'd allow a court official to examine your arm, sir? The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand as if in pain.
Mm-hmm.
No, I refuse.
Wait, are you sure you can do that?
You have shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. Accordingly, I am not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy.
Oh. Really?
As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all this. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense at the insinuation that I was in any way involved.
You claim to have had nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery.
My lord, the defense would like that last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's former testimony.
Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon.
Okay. Let's see. So what else has been added now?
The bottom line is, I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed, okay?
Okay, this is definitely something that I haven't pressed yet, so I'm going to press this.
Some Scaramouche detective's homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. Don't forget, sir, that Mr. Sherlock Holmes is the most famous detective in the world.
Real? That's based on the story, isn't it? I don't think he's that famous.
And the most famous detective in the world tells the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, huh?
Well,
Oh no, I can't think of how to answer that.
well,
I once saw the world's most famous swindler thrown into jail. He allegedly told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but what turned out to be a pack of lies.
he got you there.
Quite. Now, as you are no doubt aware, the Central Communication Station is the heart of this country's information network. My work there is of paramount importance, and you have kept me from it for long enough already.
Jeez, yeah, sure. I'm just gonna keep you here as long as I like, and you have no way to stop me from doing so.
Nothing. I have never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed.
Tell me more.
Never had anything to do with it? You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon, on the very afternoon of the incident. Obviously, I'm not a complete stranger to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for an armchair to furnish my study.
Really?
No, you were there to redeem an article. I have no idea what you're talking about. Sorry? You must be confusing me with somebody else.
Yes, dance.
I wasn't there for any such purpose. But the redemption ticket. That will get you anywhere, Bruno. Iris, what do you mean? Mr. Windybank never wrote the names of his customers on his redemption tickets.
True.
So you can prove the ticket was his. Ah, of course, she's right.
Yes, he didn't, right? So that's what's causing all the problems now, because I think it's for the customer's anonymity or something, that he chose to not write any particular name, but instead use code words, something along those lines.
I'm afraid you're going to need to produce some irrefutable evidence here. Otherwise, you'll never admit to being there.
Irrefutable evidence. Okay. Let's see.
That's all he's going to say on the matter, is it? What do you think, Bruno?
I think he has no intention of telling us anything. He's well aware that the less he says, the less chance he has of giving himself away. True.
The complete opposite of Hurley then. He seems to think that the more he says, the better.
Well, Sherlock Holmes is completely different, so it's fine.
Well, At least I managed to prize a little more information from these witnesses' lips. All thanks to the skulking brothers. Yes, they were the key to it after all. So he says he had nothing to do with Winnie Banks. Well, we know that's not true. Perhaps now would be a good time to have a proper look through the court record. Good idea. You never know what tiny scrap of information could become a valuable weapon.
Oh, okay. Before we do that, right? Let's go to the last one again. I want to know why Gregson responded. It's probably because he was like, oh, I actually saw him there or something. Yes. There we go. Yes, Gregson. What do you have to say for this?
Do you have something to add, Inspector?
Come again, Sunshine?
You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? That afternoon?
Well, yes, I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbrokers that afternoon. You, your young Japanese assistant, and the accused were all present as I recall.
And at the time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article.
Well now. I'm afraid I don't remember too clearly.
Oh, goddammit. What? But you must.
I'm not going to lie and pretend I remember something that I don't.
What's going on here? Grexy showed us a picture before, didn't he? You know, from the cameras that Hurley installed in Winnie Banks.
Yes, of course.
Indeed, and the gentleman pictured bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say.
Yeah, true. I mean, it looks like him here, isn't it?
Exactly, which proves that Mr. Graydon was in the shop on the afternoon in question.
Is there not enough proof?
At no point have I denied that fact.
Oh, so he's going that route, huh?
I merely entered the shop to peruse the articles on sale and have a word with the broker. Nothing more.
Gregson?
This makes no sense. I understand why Mr. Graydon might be trying to cover his tracks. But why would Gregson be trying to avoid giving testimony about what happened?
Oh, strange. Okay, so we are back here again. Interesting. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be one of these again. So I need to figure out what in the court record can be used as evidence to respond against him, right? Yes, you have occasion to make use of pawnbroker services, fine. Are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place? Okay. I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Some Scaramouche detectives' homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. The bottom line is, I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed. Let's take a look at our court record and see if there's anything that I can use. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment. Okay, this is... Yeah, I don't think it will ever say who it was given to, right? I don't think so. Let's see. Sholmes... Mr. Windybank. How about this? Okay, let me just see what's this. One gentleman's overcoat. Mr. Windybank appears to have used the back of this photograph to write out a redemption ticket. He's written it very neatly, but still, perhaps he ran out of paper, so he had to use anything he had to hand. It's hard to know what's the front and what's the reverse side now. Okay, thanks. Let's see. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed. Never had anything to do. I mean... Oh, well, I mean, can I use this? Because his blood was on it, right? And we can say that this is his blood, I guess. Let me try this. I may be using this as a link, possibly, so let's give it a shot.
Have you ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon? Oh, someone is a little bit... Why? Is it supposed to mean something? This disc was, until the day of his murder, in pawn in Mr. Windibank's shop. It was redeemed by the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, that afternoon. However, somebody mysteriously appeared to try to take it from her. And that somebody was you, of course. Wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I reiterated numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I've never seen that disc before in my life. It may have escaped your notice, but there is a small smear of blood on the disc. Yes, resulting from an abrasion of the thumb, perhaps. Okay. That's right, the surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In a skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to take it suffered minor lacerations. Are we going to ask you to show his thumb now? So, while the disc bears the remnant of the skirmish in the form of this smear of blood, the thumb of the person in question must bear the remnants also in the form of a scratch. Good gracious, indeed it must. Mr. Graydon, you refused to allow a court officer to examine your arm before. Are you now going to refuse to allow us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consistent with the smear of blood on this disc. Ooh! Oh wow. Well. It would seem I underestimated you. What? What is the meaning of this? What is happening? So you admit it now? You admit you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attempted to take the disc from the defendant? Gosh. Order! Well, Mr. Graydon. It would appear there has been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. No, quite the reverse. What are you trying to say? It's really quite simple, you see. The disc was mine from the outset. Is there some crime in taking an item that you own out of pawn? What? It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence, my learned friend has established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about the disc now. As you wish, though I'm quite sure it has nothing whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker's murder. Okay, let's see. He's very sus for sure. And obviously he has done something. I would like to know what that thing is. The disc. There's a note on the disc saying for McGilded, but the item belongs to me. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy guttling, on the day in question. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. No reason to break into the shop. Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGilder, you say? The famous London philanthropist? Oh god, this scene. Who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of a distinctly messy murder. Yes, my lord, the one and the same. Good lord, Mr. Graydon. Are you saying that Mr. McGilder and yourself were acquainted? Yes, that's correct. Really? Oh, okay. So there is a link between them. Okay. Order! Well, I certainly didn't expect to hear that name uttered here in my courtroom again. According to what Gina told us, this disc was placed in pawn on that fateful night 2 months ago. McGilder himself gave instructions
to deposit it at Windybanks.
It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming that this belongs to him then, isn't it?
In all likelihood, he's lying. So he appeared that afternoon at Windybanks in order to get his hands on McGilda's disc for some reason. Counsel, you will commence your cross-examination, please.